This is not financial advice, it's not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only. And everything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. That being said, hit the like button, subscribe button, all that YouTube algorithm stuff, so you get the videos that I put them out. See what I'm thinking, see how I'm analyzing the data. But as I tell y'all every day, the data they release us is false. It's meant to give us a negative narrative of the market in order to keep us off balance, mess with us psychologically, so that we make bad trading decisions. And the bad actors, they thrive off that. They thrive off, keeping retail investors off balance, so we make bad decisions that benefits them. China is on the verge of collapse. The housing market is at the worst it's been in probably 11 years. Probably more than that. Probably the last 20 years. The housing market hasn't been this bad. The Evergrande fiasco was just a tip of the iceberg, and it just revealed what was going on inside the China housing market. And then you got to look at Chinese unemployment. The unemployment is going through the roof. And a lot of you might be saying, well, what does China's economy have to do with the United States? What does China's economy have to do with our stock market? A lot of American companies relies on China for manufacturing, relies on China for a lot of things. I mean, Chinese consumers purchase a lot of American products also. A lot of people aren't aware of that. But the thing is, once the Chinese economy starts collapsing, once their unemployment goes parabolic, once their housing market crashes, it's going to have a significant effect on the U.S. housing market, on the U.S. stock market, on the way we manufacture goods. What a lot of people probably know, because all the new investors now, all the retail investors, not all, but a majority of them are well informed. You got the internet, you got Reddit, you got StockTwits. I mean, we're well informed. I mean, we get information like in nanoseconds. China has the second largest economy, only after United States and right before Japan. So when that economy crashes, it's going to have a negative effect all over the world, because a lot of countries rely on China. A lot of countries rely on China. So once China collapses, and a lot of these American companies that rely on China start to collapse, it's going to have a significant effect all over the world. The iPhone that I'm using right now was manufactured in China. So that's going to affect Apple. I mean, at this point, when China collapses, it's going to cause United States economy to start to collapse. And then when the United States economy starts to collapse, all these blue chip stocks that are currently red, they haven't hit their bottom yet. So if the margin calls are already starting, and these stocks, as far as I'm concerned, have not hit their bottom yet, what is going to happen when these stocks hit their bottom? You think the banks want to be another Archegos? They don't want to be another Archegos. They're not going to allow the hedgies to keep doubling down and tripling down. No, they're going to ask for their money. They're going to institute the margin calls, and if they're going to institute the margin calls rather, and if the hedgies, if the brokers don't have the money to put into the accounts, to bring the accounts current, the banks are going to start the forced liquidations. They don't want to be another Archegos. They don't want to be another Credit Suisse. Okay, so they are going to start the forced liquidations. And when they start the forced liquidations, they're going to have to cover all their AMC. They're going to have to cover all their APE. They're going to have to cover all their GME. They're going to have to cover all the other mem stocks that they're shorted. And they're not just short in mem stocks. They're short in a lot of other companies. So even though I believe that the MOASS is going to happen no matter what happens in China, because the bad actors, the hedges, got in too deep, and they kept doubling down and tripling down and doubling down and tripling down because they were relying on retail investors doing what we normally do. Retail investors have a tendency to buy high and sell low. And these bad actors, these hedges, have been living off that for the last 30 years. But for the last 2 years, they've ran into a different group of investors who turned that narrative on its head. And because they've turned that narrative on its head, the hedge funds are losing money every day. But once the Chinese economy crashes, it's going to cause our economy to crash. The margin calls, they're already in, but it's going to start to force liquidations. They're going to be forced to cover. And all these meme stocks are going to go through the roof. And it's going to be a generational transfer of wealth that we've never seen in this world. And we'll probably never see again, because I don't believe they will ever, ever, ever let retail investors have this kind of control over a company. Anyway, hit the like button, subscribe button, all that YouTube algorithm stuff, and tell me what you think about China's economy collapsing and causing the American economy to collapse, or the global economy to collapse, which will force a lot of blue chip stocks more into the red and force all these bad actors to cover all this short position. Anyway, have a great day. God bless, and I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.